Imagine there's a secret language that women speak every single day, but they never use a single word to say it. Most men are completely deaf to this conversation. They stumble through dates and interactions like they're walking through a dark room blindfolded, hoping they don't trip over a red flag. But everything changes the moment you understand the biological hierarchy of touch. If a woman allows you to access one specific, highly protected area of her body, the dynamic between you has shifted permanently. This isn't some empty alpha male theory or a clickbait headline designed to grab your attention. This is a hardwired neurological reality rooted in how the female brain distinguishes a stranger from a protector. When a woman grants you entry into this specific zone, she isn't just giving you physical permission to touch her skin, she is flipping a psychological off switch on her natural survival defenses. It is a moment of total emotional surrender, where her subconscious decides you are no longer a potential threat, but a source of safety and deep connection. We are moving far beyond seduction tricks, scripted lines, or manipulative mind games. Instead, we are diving into the raw, visceral truth of how intimacy is actually built. This is the map that separates the men who guess from the men who lead. If you're ready to finally see the signals that have been right in front of you this whole time, smash that like button and subscribe. We're about to break down the hierarchy of trust, starting from the outside and moving straight to the core. To understand how attraction works, you have to stop thinking of physical contact as just a move and start seeing a woman's body as a series of sophisticated security zones. Most men fail because they are touch blind. They treat a hand on the shoulder with the same weight as a hand on the face, and that lack of calibration is exactly what gets them rejected. You need to view the body as a map of trust where every inch closer to the center requires a higher level of psychological clearance. If you jump to the inner circle before you've been cleared at the gates, you don't just lose the girl, you lose her trust entirely. This is where most men get stuck, and it's because they don't know where the neutral zone ends and true intimacy begins. Level 1 is the neutral zone, which primarily consists of the arms and shoulders. Think of this as the social gateway. When a woman allows you to touch her here, it means you've successfully passed the creep test. You've established yourself as a safe, respectable, and socially calibrated presence in her space. However, this is the biggest trap for nice guys. Don't confuse this initial green light with deep, burning attraction. At this stage, she is simply evaluating your vibe. She's opening the door to see who's standing there, but she hasn't invited you into the house yet. It's a test of your baseline energy, and if you misread politeness for surrender, you'll overplay your hand every time. The real secret lies in the science of skin. Research into emotional communication shows that women are biologically wired to be significantly more sensitive to the intention behind a touch than men are. Her nervous system is like a high-frequency antenna. When you reach out, she isn't just registering the physical pressure of your hand, she is literally reading your internal state. Through the skin, she can detect your confidence, your authenticity, or the exact moment you start feeling insecure or desperate. The skin acts as a high-speed conductor for your masculine energy. If your touch is hesitant, needy, or aggressive, the portal slams shut instantly. But if your intent is grounded and protective, you've just cleared the first major hurdle on the map of surrender. We are now entering level 4, the high-stakes area of sacred access. This is where the physical connection becomes deeply emotional and almost spiritual. The neck is one of the most biologically vulnerable spots on the human body. It's the bridge between the head and the heart, housing the carotid arteries, the windpipe, and the pulse. From an evolutionary standpoint, allowing someone's hand near your neck is an act of extreme vulnerability. It is a primal signal of safety. If you reach for a woman's neck and she doesn't instinctively pull away or tense up, her subconscious has already done the math and categorized you as a high-value, trusted partner. At this level, her brain isn't just okay with you, it has completely bypassed the stranger danger alarm system and accepted you into her innermost circle of intimacy. The face is even more significant because it represents her identity and her essence. To touch a woman's face, whether you're brushing away a stray hair or cupping her cheek, is to touch the very core of who she is. This is the point of no return for psychological barriers. Most men never get this far because they lack the calibration to build the necessary trust. But when you reach this stage, the walls have effectively crumbled. You aren't just in her personal space anymore, you are interacting with her soul. When she meets your gaze while you touch her face, she is giving you her undivided attention and acknowledging a level of closeness that she likely grants to almost no one else. At this point, the game is over and a real, raw connection has taken its place. Finally, we reach the summit of the hierarchy, the ultimate zone of surrender, which is the hair. To most men, hair is just hair, but to a woman, it is a powerful symbol of her femininity, her identity, and her personal crown. It is something she spends an immense amount of time managing, grooming, and protecting from the world. Because it is so closely tied to her self-image, her hair is often the final frontier of physical intimacy. When a woman allows a man to stroke, touch, or play with her hair, a profound shift happens in her subconscious mind. She is essentially lowering her final shield and granting you access to a part of her that she normally only handles herself. At this moment, she isn't just letting you into her personal bubble. She is giving up control over her most visible symbol of beauty and allowing you to lead her into a state of pure, unfiltered vulnerability. The real magic, however, isn't just in the touch itself. It's in the physical reaction it triggers within her nervous system. This is what I call chemical surrender. When you run your fingers through her hair, and she instinctively tilts her head toward your hand, sighs softly, or closes her eyes, her body is entering a state of total biological safety. This isn't a logical decision she's making in her head, it's a visceral response from her autonomic nervous system. It's the sound of her internal alarm system finally going silent. In this state, the hormone oxytocin, often called the bonding molecule, is flooding her system, creating a sense of deep trust and belonging. When a woman reaches this level of relaxation in your hands, her psychological defenses have completely collapsed. You are no longer just a man she's dating, you have become a sanctuary. You aren't just in her physical space anymore, you have officially claimed a place in her heart. Before you go out and apply this, I need to give you a serious reality check. This is not a manual for manipulation or a shortcut to force an outcome. If you try to skip steps or force your way into these zones without building the proper foundation, you won't get attraction. You'll trigger a threat response. A woman's nervous system is incredibly sharp. The moment she senses you're trying to check off boxes or play a game, her internal alarms will scream and she'll shut down instantly. Physical contact is a silent, high-stakes conversation that requires two active participants. It's a dance of calibration where you lead, but you must constantly listen to how her body is responding. When you move through these levels correctly, you aren't taking anything from her. You're creating a space where she feels safe enough to give you her trust. The truth is simple. If she is responding positively as you move through these levels, she is telling you, without saying a single word, that the barriers are officially down. You've already won the most important battle, which is the battle for her psychological safety. You've proven that you are a man who is grounded, observant, and respectful of her boundaries, which is exactly what makes you high value in her eyes.